How are y'all doing today? So I made a video a long time ago on anxiety and chest pain, but I want to make one today specifically for health anxiety and chest pain. When I first had my first, panic attack, um, I thought I was having a heart attack. So initially I just had some depersonalization, a rushing feeling in my head, tingling, numbness. And then I, noticed my heart rate going up tremendously. And that's kind of when I started to think I was having a heart attack. So out of nowhere, my chest got a little tighter and tighter and tighter, which was my mind causing it to do so. I started focusing, my body's energy and everything in that area of my body. So the discomfort grew and it got tighter and tighter. And then there was some mild pain. This pain did not go away for probably 3 days straight after that. I had tensed up so much that my chest had hurt for like 3 days, which is incredible. That's why I was convinced that, I had suffered a heart attack and I was having some real bad pains as a result of it. Just irrational thinking on my part there. Eventually I had tests done and my EKGs were fine, and this wasn't the first bout with this. I had chest pain sending me to the ER like 2 other times. Many times I would have the phone right next to me. I would always make sure, wanted to be around people in case I just fell out by myself and died alone. I was scared to exercise because I felt like I would have heart attacks. So with this health anxiety, guys, you got to understand it starts in your subconscious. And if you're having chest pain and you haven't gone to get checked out, first off, go get that checked out. Okay, you need that reassurance. You need that confidence that things are okay. And you have to trust your doctors. That's a whole nother video. Trusting your doctors is the first step of getting rid of health anxiety. Embrace the fact that you're being told you're healthy. Okay, that's a wonderful freaking thing that many people do not get to experience. They do not get to hear that. So forms of chest pain that I would deal with, guys, I dealt with maybe a crushing pain sometimes. If I had this crazy attack out of nowhere, I would have sharp stabbing pains. I felt like I had muscle pains. I would have dull aches. I would have radiating pain. Pretty much every form of pain in my chest area I would have. I had pain that if I did this or looked like this, it would hurt. And it was different kinds of pains at different times. So it was always a very scary situation for me. I was always terrified. I was always thinking I was on the brink of death. As most of us with health anxiety and hypochondria, we have those feelings all the time. I know what it's like every single day to think this is my last, even though I wasn't suffering through anything major. In my head, I was convinced that I was dying. So I know what it's like to think that you're dying every day. I know what that's like. I am prepared in some creepy, weirdo way for death whenever it starts to knock on my doorstep, because I feel like I know what it's like to go through that. And there'll be some surprises there, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. If you suffer from health anxiety, you know what it's like to just feel like every day is your last, and it's a nightmare. Every day you wake up, from the minute you get up to the time you go to bed, whether you suffer from panic attacks or not, most of us with health anxiety do have these panic attacks. Now, they're going to speed your heart up, all right? They speed your heart rate up. And if you have this obsessive thought that you're having a heart attack or that your chest is the issue, you can focus your energy in on that spot. You in a way can imagine the symptom, or you can actually cause the symptom. Now, imagining is not as likely as causing it, because that pain's real. As far as imagining it, we can overreact to pain. You become more aware. Something that Joey is feeling, you might not feel, or something you feel Joey might not be feeling. I was very aware of my heartbeat. If I was just sitting here, I could hear dunk 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 dunk, and I could feel it. I was noticing things I didn't used to notice. You develop like a weird sense, for your body. You're way more aware, and that does not do us any freaking good at all. Okay, I remember sitting there and it's looking at my stomach, and I could see it just I could see my shirt go up to my heart with in rhythm with my heartbeat, and I would lift up my shirt and I could see my stomach doing that. Freaked me out. I was like, oh man, I must have this horrible blood pressure problem. No, I just have a strong heartbeat, and as I was losing weight, I could see my stomach would move. And not everybody has that, but that's just some of the symptoms that I would have. My heart rate was always elevated. Every time I went to the doctor, my heart rate was like over 100. I don't know, it's just like that. Whenever I was in a stressed out state for 3 years, my heart rate was rarely under 100. Now my heart rate's anywhere from like 65 to 85 on like a regular basis, now that I'm not like freaking out every moment of the day. My blood pressure back then when I was going through all this stuff, and mind you, I am a little bit healthier as far as eating and weight, so I'm sure that maybe 25% of all this might be because I've changed some of those habits. But my blood pressure was always anywhere from 130 to 150 over 80 to 95, which is extremely high for somebody of my age and weight. I wasn't morbidly obese. I was definitely a tad bit overweight, maybe 15-20 pounds overweight. 195 pounds is as much as I think I got to. So those numbers are just still a little bit ridiculous for somebody that weight and age. I was active. I still did exercise and stuff like that, so it didn't make any sense. It was just this crazy fear of my heart, fear of dying in the back of my head that was always going on that just kept my blood pressure up. So the tension and stuff in my chest, you're going to experience pain whenever you have bad health anxiety and panic attacks. I'm sorry, but your body tenses up. The best way to kind of explain it is, for instance, when I got in my first bad wreck, my truck rolled 3 times. I didn't have one injury, okay? But my body was sore the next day. I mean, I was freaking out. I was like, this is it. I'm going to die. This is it. And I remember pushing on the roof here to put my butt down and then pushing on the steering wheel to push me back because I knew I was going to flip, and totaled my truck, peed myself whenever it stopped rolling because of my adrenaline was so crazy. And I didn't feel like I had gotten hurt at all, but sure enough, the next morning I woke up, my whole body was sore. My body went through some crazy stressful situation, and I tensed up like crazy, and then I felt pain the next day. My joints, my legs, my arms from pushing down, my chest, and this is whenever I was 18 years old, and I was in good, amazing shape at that time in my life. So I'm just letting you know that whenever your body gets stressed out, it tenses, and whenever you have that tension, pain's going to happen. And that can happen right here on your chest, guys. So just something to keep in mind there. Another deal is you hyperventilate whenever you're having these panic attacks or when you get worked up. You're bringing in a lot of air, you're bringing in all that in, and this constant breathing. If you're crazy with it, like I was the first few panic attacks I had, I mean, I was nuts with this crazy breathing, and I would breathe in over and over and over and over, just hardcore, and my chest would get tighter and tighter and tighter. So just the act of breathing like that can just add to the tension, add to the soreness, and just make things worse from there. Another deal is heartburn. My heartburn is horrible. So when combined with anxiety and stress and all this and panic disorder, with IBS working in there, which I'll get to that more in just a second, the heartburn just exaggerated the problem. I thought that the heartburn was heart issues, which wasn't the case. And that's another video. I'm going to make a video on the difference between heart pain and heartburn. But heartburn would confuse me sometimes. After big meals, I would sit there, the big meal thickened up my blood and I'm gonna die of a heart attack. No, I was just having some heartburn. And it was hard to decipher sometimes because I had so many different types of chest pain that I had from everything that was going on with me that it was hard to decipher that from actual heart problems. The last one, trapped gas. Whenever we're hyperventilating and we're taking a lot of extra air, okay, and a lot of that doesn't just go out whenever you belch or through gas that fast, okay? So you develop a lot of air pockets inside your stomach, okay? There's gas in there, there's trapped air. If you have IBS, which my IBS was through the roof whenever I had bad anxiety. The IBS just aggravated it. You know, the stomach issue would produce more gas, so I would have trapped gas. This can just give you an overall full feeling, and if you have heartburn or something else on top of that, it just makes the heartburn worse, and in the end, you just think that you're having this tightness, this fullness that can sometimes just creep up into your upper GI. So just keep that in mind. There are so many different factors that go into the chest discomfort. If you haven't been to the doctor, you need to go, because you need to get that reassurance. If you have bad health anxiety and you're focusing in on this and you think you're dying of a heart attack, and you know you've gone through this like 15, 20 times and you haven't died yet, then yeah, there's a decent chance that this is probably some anxiety that you're suffering from, or heartburn, or some of the things that I listed there. But you need to go to the doctor and get that reassurance just to make sure. I'm going to tell you 99.9% of you are experiencing just this issue. Most of you guys are a little bit younger than me, all the way to about 10 years older than me. This is the prime time where this health anxiety thing comes out in us and attacks us. It builds up our whole lives until we have that first crazy panic attack, or that first situation where we're like, oh my God, you know, this is it, we're dying. Also, stop Googling. I'm going to say some of the things I've said in my other videos. Do not Google. Stay away from that, all right? Things to improve on your health anxiety, all right? Things that I say at the end of every video, and what I tell everybody with this: you need to exercise, okay? Exercise helps you. It also makes you feel like your heart isn't failing on you, okay? You'll be surprised. You get out there and run, and you're actually hyperventilating for a reason. You're not hyperventilating, you're breathing hard for a reason. It gives you confidence. I used to use exercise when I had chest pain all the time. It seems ironic, but it worked, okay? Do this. I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Don't lay there with this discomfort and everything. Just get your mind off of it. Go give yourself reassurance that you're okay and you're not going to drop dead from a heart attack, okay? You need to eat right. If you're so worried about your blood pressure, you're so worried about heart problems, and you're like 25, 30, you know, and you're 60 to 150 pounds overweight or something like that, well, then you need to lose a little bit of weight, okay? It isn't going to help you with your hypertension. It's not going to help you with your heart rate and your breathing and your discomfort and any of that. So you need to give yourself that reassurance also and lose some extra weight, okay? Practice meditation in the mornings and the evenings. I tell everybody this all the time, and I feel like I get some eye rolls when I do it. You need to learn how to do this. It's very effective. Giving yourself positive affirmations, you know, letting yourself, you know, visualize how you want your life to be, your goals, visualize your life without health anxiety, because it's out there, guys. I felt it sometimes I was going to suffer from this for the rest of my life, but you'll be surprised. A lot of people really don't suffer from this their whole life. I mean, you will to an extent. Always have that worry, because that tends to be the type of person that you are, like me. But once you get the tools to work with this and learn how to, you know, apply those to your life, life gets better. I'm telling you, life will get better. Now, join that Facebook group down below, because I got a lot of people in there dealing with stress, anxiety, health anxiety, panic attacks, and everybody can get together. You're welcome to post in there anytime. I need to actually post this video in that group also. So be sure to like this video. A lot of people need to see this. Leave me a comment down below what you thought about this video. I know I'm in the car today. It's really windy and chilly outside, and the wind chime where I usually is going crazy. I'm going to actually get a better spot to start filming pretty soon. Let me know what you thought about the video. Leave me a comment down below. Join my social networks down below. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscription button. If you have subscribed, hit the notification bell next to it, because you will get updates when I make my videos. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. I went way over on this. If you stuck around to the end, thank you. Hit these playlists up here. I got a couple for panic attacks or health anxiety. I don't know which one I'm going to put up there, but click something up here that seems interesting. And thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.